Imagine being born in 1900. The average human life expectancy was just 32 years. By 2021, we almost doubled that. The average human life expectancy by 2021 was 71 years. Have you ever wondered how that happened? How did we achieve such a colossal task of doubling humanity's lifespan in less than 4 generations? I'm Dr. Asiya Mubashir, and today we're going to talk about the amazing breakthroughs that doubled humanity's life expectancy over the last 100 years. Breakthrough number 1, health and sanitation. It's so basic, isn't it? And we take it for granted today, but it wasn't back then. Let me tell you a story. We're in London in 1854. London was one of the biggest and the busiest cities of its time. People flocked to London for jobs, for better livelihood, and this led to overpopulation, overcrowding, living in closed quarters, and cholera epidemic broke. People were dying by the dozens. At that time, doctors believed that disease spread through something called miasma, bad air, rotten smells, or cursed people. Well, that's what you would believe too if there were no microscopes. The concept of invisible germs did not really exist or hadn't taken off then. Everyone believed this, except for John Snow. Not that one, this one. John Snow had the courage to ask a very important question. Why were certain people in certain neighborhoods dying and others weren't? This led John Snow to walk into these disease-infested neighborhoods where people were dying. He spoke to them, spoke about their habits, went door to door and mapped dead people. And the results were shocking. Most of the deaths were clustered around a certain water pump. Not only did John Snow have data to support his claim, but there was other evidence also. Brewery workers nearby survived because they mainly drank beer. There was a workhouse nearby that had lots of people. It was crowded, but they survived too because they had their own source of water. From this, he concluded that it was not bad air, rotten smells, or miasma that caused cholera, but it was impure or contaminated water. John Snow convinced the authorities to remove the water pump. The handle was removed immediately and the outbreak stopped. Before clean water, up to 40% of children died before the age of 5. Sanitation changed that. Life expectancy rose because children stopped dying. Breakthrough number 2, the germ theory. Now bear with me, I know this sounds a little boring, but this is truly where modern medicine begins. What germ theory simply means is that diseases are spread through tiny living organisms like bacteria, viruses, and parasites. Now, this was profound because that meant that diseases could actually be prevented. And that's why it made sense to sterilize equipment. It made sense to isolate the sick. It made sense to disinfect water. Germ theory turned death from a mystery into a logistics problem. One of the most dramatic before and after stories in surgery is the antiseptic story. This was led by Dr. Joseph Lister. Now, during this time in early 1900s, it was very common for a surgery to actually perform well, but the patient would still die from a post-infection. But it was still common for a patient to die from a post-operative infection. After a major surgery, post-operative infections were universally high until Dr. Joseph Lister introduced the antiseptic technique using carbolic acid to sterilize instruments. And this dramatically reduced the mortality after a major surgery from about 40% to less than 3%. This was not just an incremental improvement, but a revolution. But here's the thing about germ theory. even though it was proved and there was evidence behind germ theory, but the idea for its time was so radical that the medical establishment refused to accept it. And that brings me to breakthrough 3, which is one of the most tragic stories in medical history. Breakthrough number 3. Hand washing. Imagine something as simple as hand washing is one of the breakthroughs responsible for doubling human lifespan in the last 100 years. It is standard practice today for doctors to wash their hands before and after they see their patients. In 1840, that wasn't the case. In fact, Dr. Ignaz Semmelweis died for suggesting the same. In 1840 in Vienna, Dr. Semmelweis was responsible for delivering babies, and he noticed something terrible. There were 2 wards in his hospital. One of the wards where they were delivering babies, the maternal mortality rate was 18%. And in another ward in the same hospital, the maternal mortality rate was just 2%. Same hospital, same doctors, same year. Why was this happening? Dr. Ignaz figured it out. The high mortality ward was staffed by physicians and medical students who delivered babies right after performing autopsies on corpses. And the low mortality ward was handled by nurses and midwives who actually never performed autopsies. So Dr. Ignaz discovered that doctors in the hospital were carrying deadly cadaveric particles and introducing them directly into healthy patients. And that's what caused infections and high maternal mortality rate. Semmelweis introduced a simple rule. All doctors were to hand wash with chlorinated solution before they handled any patients. And within months, the maternal mortality rate dropped from 18% to 1% in his ward. Not a single woman died for months. And you would think that the medical establishment would celebrate that. They destroyed him. Doctors were offended by the fact that they themselves were responsible for spreading disease, that their unwashed hands were killing patients. They ridiculed Semmelweis, mocked him, and ultimately he lost his position in Vienna and moved back to Budapest. Here he assumed a minor role in a hospital, and interestingly, here as well, he reduced maternal mortality rate by simply introducing hand washing, but he was ignored in Budapest as well. Ultimately, he became really desperate. He started writing open letters to famous doctors across Europe, telling them that hand washing was very critical in preventing disease in the maternity wards. They did not listen to him. In 1865, he was committed to an asylum where he was beaten by prison guards, and he ultimately succumbed to his death by an infection 14 days later. A man who taught the world to prevent infection died of infection. He was 47 years old.